$1,200. That's all he had. A college dropout with no direction, rejected by his own mother, told he lacked ambition by his wife. Today, that same man is worth over $100 billion. He owns 98% of a Hawaiian island. He controls more data than almost any man alive. The CIA trusts him, corporations rely on him, governments depend on him, and he's cheated death, rivals, and every rule in the book to get where he is. But here's the crazy part. He almost gave up multiple times. His company nearly went bankrupt. He lost $790 million in a single year. 7 times people told him he was finished. But what made him keep going? Well, stay with us, because this is the story of Larry Ellison, a story about rejection, obsession, and refusing to play by anyone's rules. It starts in 1944, the Bronx, New York. A baby boy is born to a 19-year-old single mother. His name is Lawrence Joseph Ellison, but this isn't a happy beginning. Not even close. At 9 months old, little Larry gets pneumonia. His mother is young, broke, scared, and barely hanging on. And in that moment, she makes a decision that Larry will carry like a bruise for the next 50 years. She gives him up for adoption. Larry is taken in by his aunt and uncle in Chicago. His adoptive mother is loving, protective, the kind of person who makes you feel safe just by being in the room. His adoptive father is the opposite, cold, distant, critical, the kind of man who doesn't hug. You earn his approval, and even then, he might not give it. And then at age 12, Larry gets the truth dropped on him like a brick. He finds out he was adopted, that these aren't his real parents, that his real mother gave him away. Most kids would collapse. Most kids would cry or explode, but Larry doesn't. He does something more dangerous. He locks it away. He buries it so deep that it hardens into something else, a hunger that doesn't turn off, a need to prove every single day that he isn't worthless. Larry is smart, painfully smart, but he's not interested in school the way people want him to be. He enrolls at the University of Illinois as a pre-med student and he shines. In his first year, he's named Science Student of the Year. It's his first taste of being the best, his first hit of superiority, and for Larry Ellison, superiority is addictive. Problem is, life doesn't care about your trophies. His adoptive mother dies. The one person he truly loved, the one person who felt like home, is gone. Larry breaks. He drops out of college, and just like that, smart kid destined for greatness becomes a young man drifting through grief, trying to outrun his own head. It's 1966. He ends up in California with the hippies. He experiments a little, marijuana once or twice, doesn't like it. He tries school again, physics and math in Chicago, but the pattern doesn't change. He gets bored. He loses interest. And then his wife says what a lot of people have probably been thinking. She tells him he's irresponsible. She tells him he lacks ambition. Then she kicks him out. Then she divorces him. Larry is 21 years old and everything looks like a dead end. No degree, no wife, no stable future. The kind of moment that forces a decision. Either you fold or you reinvent yourself. Larry chooses reinvention and he discovers something important. He's good at programming. Really good. He'd done part-time coding in college and realized he could make more money writing programs than tenured professors. As a young man, that's the kind of discovery that flips your whole life upside down, because suddenly you're not the college dropout with no direction. You're the guy who can build something valuable while everyone else is still arguing in classrooms. Larry starts working at small tech companies in Silicon Valley. One of them is Ampex. And this is where the story takes a turn from smart guy who got hurt to smart guy who's about to become dangerous. Because Larry meets his first major client, the CIA. Yes, the actual Central Intelligence Agency. They're worried about database security. They need a way to organize and protect massive international data. Larry sees the problem, and then he sees something else too, an opportunity hiding in plain sight. IBM has a concept called the relational database, but IBM isn't pushing it. They don't believe in their own idea enough to move fast, and Larry Ellison, a man who is allergic to waiting, looks at that and thinks, if they don't want it, I'll take it. So in 1977, Larry starts his own company with a colleague named Bob Miner. They call it Software Development Laboratories, SDL. Larry invests $1,200. That's it, $1,200. Not millions, not a fancy backer, just a tiny number and a huge ego. Their first client is the CIA. Their first product is Oracle version 2. Version 2? Where's version 1? There isn't one. Larry doesn't think anyone will trust version 1 of a new software, so he skips it and calls the first release version 2. And the wild part is, it works. Nobody notices. Everyone assumes there must have been a version 1 somewhere. Larry's already playing mind games, and the game hasn't even started. But as the company grows, Larry realizes something. Software Development Laboratories sounds like a boring science project, so he changes the name to something sharper, something that feels powerful. Oracle. And Oracle becomes the invisible infrastructure that big companies start relying on. It's not glamorous, it's not a shiny gadget. It's a system that organizes massive amounts of data and makes it accessible fast. Efficient storage, quick retrieval. Then 1986 hits. Oracle goes public. Larry's share is worth $93 million. He's on top of the world. For one day, he feels like the king of tech. Then the next day, Microsoft goes public, and Bill Gates becomes worth $350 million. Larry doesn't just get passed, he gets lapped. And Larry Ellison does not handle being lapped. He makes Bill Gates his arch nemesis. He vows to take down Microsoft. He basically declares war in his own head. And the funniest part is Bill Gates doesn't even realize they're competing. Gates thinks they're friends. Larry thinks they're enemies. That's how you know Larry isn't fighting people. He's fighting a scoreboard. Then 1990 arrives, and reality finally slaps Oracle in the face. The company is growing fast, maybe too fast. The sales team starts copying Larry's aggression, except they take it to a ridiculous level. They're selling software that doesn't even exist yet, promising features that haven't been built. Clients are paying up front. The sales team is celebrating with huge bonuses, and for a moment, it looks like Oracle is unstoppable. Then, the software doesn't show up. Clients are furious. They've paid for products they never received. And to make it worse, Oracle releases version 6, and it's a disaster. Buggy, unstable, unusable. Sales plummet. Larry loses $790 million. The company is on the brink of bankruptcy. Competitors smell blood in the water. And suddenly, Larry Ellison, the loud, confident winner, is becoming a punchline. This is the moment where most people break. This is where the story ends. But Larry doesn't quit. He goes cold. He makes a brutal decision. He fires 10% of the staff, including his girlfriend. Imagine getting fired by your billionaire boyfriend because the company needs to survive. He admits they made terrible business mistakes. The company survives, barely, and Larry walks away from that disaster with a lesson burned into him. Never again. And he still hasn't forgotten Bill Gates. Larry hates the PC. He despises it, so he tries to build something that makes PCs look outdated. Oracle releases the network computer, the NC. It's supposed to be cheaper, simpler, easier to use. The future, basically, except it runs entirely on the internet. And the 1990s internet is slow as hell. The NC is 15 years ahead of its time, and it flops. Bill wins again. In a competition he still doesn't even know he's playing. So Larry changes the battlefield. It's 2000. Microsoft is under investigation for antitrust violations. Larry decides to help. He hires private investigators to go through Microsoft's garbage. Literally. They even offer janitors $1,400 for trash. The janitors refuse. But Larry still gets what he wants. Proof Microsoft is paying advocacy groups to support them publicly during the lawsuit. Larry publicly defends it as a public service to take the public opinion to his side. Bill Gates gets in trouble. Larry feels like a hero. Today, Larry Ellison is worth over $100 billion. Oracle manages massive amounts of the world's data, government, corporate, and everything. Whether you love him or hate him, the truth is simple. He changed the modern world. Not because he was the nicest guy. Not because he played fair. Not because he followed the normal path. He did it because rejection didn't break him. It sharpened him. Because he bottled the pain and turned it into fuel. Because he treated business like war and life like a scoreboard. That's Larry Ellison, and if history has taught us anything about him, it's that he's not finished yet.